We're inside the second pyramid at Giza. Some call the Khafre Pyramid. This is the main interior chamber, which conventional archaeology calls a tomb. However, the resonance inside here is so incredible that others believe that this was part of a energy generator, that the pyramids here were energy generating structures or vibrational structures, and not built as the tombs of egotistical rulers. Now this is the box, so-called sarcophagus, made out of a rose granite, and it didn't fit or drop down on top. The lid didn't drop on top of the box, it actually slid into place.
Yeah, that might be.
Right here, yeah.
Along that, I think maybe.
So all the white here that we see.
So this is the exterior of what is called the second pyramid, or some call the Khafre Pyramid. The lower casing stone, that which is still here, is rose granite from the quarry at Aswan, and then it goes part way up, and then after that it's Tura limestone, which is almost pure calcium carbonate. And as part of the Giza power plant hypothesis of people such as engineer Christopher Dunn, the exterior skin to some degree acted as an insulator, and then the limestone that was the core is full of salts and minerals, and so it could actually conduct electricity. So again, it's like this was a giant resonating structure built thousands of years before the dynasty. This is what we see in many parts of the world, especially in Peru and Bolivia and here in Egypt. Structures thousands of years older than the famous culture which supposedly built them. But in fact, the story is that a very ancient, high-tech culture of some kind constructed not only the pyramids of the Giza Plateau, but a massive tunnel system underneath the Giza Plateau as well, going north, south, east, and west, and going for miles. Something happened to them, something catastrophic. And then afterwards, what we call the pharaohs, or the pharaonic Egyptians, or dynastic Egyptians, moved into the area about 5,000 years ago, and adopted these sites, of course, these places, and renamed them, and in some cases reused them. So, the second pyramid here, this is where the stone was quarried in terms of the blocks themselves. And it's so heavily weathered that we can't see the tool marks involved. But not only that, here you can see that they cut the blocks down, starting at the top of the plateau, straight down like that, in order to remove the blocks and create this shape.
Like the pyramid itself, perhaps to house shrines with a bin or bindings. Yes, like a satellite structure that was working with the pyramid itself.
This is how we keep expanding the paradigm all the time. Oh, it's so obvious that the caves.
The wavelengths of the sound frequency. So if we believe these were for sound. But what I wanted to point out is that huge crack in the wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if this was even made during the dynasty while the crack, or if it was made with the crack in here, they would usually fill it. Same like the crack we saw down there in the caves under.
Yeah.
Remember the huge crack in the wall that was filled with a material like cement?
Right.
Yeah, so if they had it here, if they had it during the structure, they would fill it with the same material. But this one looked like something shook it, that it isolated the whole gate, because this was originally one block.
Or maybe like the unfinished obelisk, they stopped work.
It's very similar, but not the same. see also that this technique, which we're still going to see in the unfinished obelisk, is quite primitive and failure. And in most cases here, they could not split.
There could be temples up there. How can you say there's more pyramids up there? It was once. All this is virgin Africa. This is why we say this is not sacred sites. It's not Giza.
Use this huge slab, and instead of like something like that half here, should work. Especially could have had it as a secret knowledge. We found evidence of this machining in devices that were found in a pre-dynastic location, like Marmada and Tasa and Al-Badari, all in the...
See, here's Peter.
We would bolt the sides together. They said, no, this is one piece. How would you do this? He said, you guys required us. I have no idea.
They can't cut that inside corner.
Not to the end.
This is the second pyramid at Giza, and now we're going to approach the third, the smallest of the three, which some call Menkaure, but we simply, at the Kemet School, call this the third pyramid because, again, we don't believe that these were in any way, shape, or form tombs of pharaohs. Were part of an energy. Engineer Christopher Dunn was the man who initiated the theory that the series of three pyramids were in fact an energetic system, and that they were created quite possibly thousands of years prior to the dynastic Egyptians. There's a series of tunnels and shafts underneath this plateau that stretch for miles, north, south, east, and west. They go under these pyramids, and originally they carried water, and it was believed that water set up some kind of vibration because the proportions of the tunnels were exacting to create this vibratory effect, and that caused these huge things to set up a vibration. The vibration was transferred into some kind of energy, probably not electrical, but vibratory, and was used for, some say, to set up some kind of force field around the area, which allowed the builders to enter into much higher state of consciousness than we are capable of today. Whether you believe it or not, it's quite a prominent theory. So here we see these weird knob-like things that are on many of the surfaces, and that is similar to ancient pre-Inca structures in Peru as well. So originally this entire pyramid was encased in pink granite that came from Aswan, which is 500 miles away. So the question is, if all of this casing stone was removed afterwards by later cultures who wanted the material as for building their own buildings or statues or whatever, then why are there casing stones still at the bottom? Doesn't it make sense to start removing from the bottom and go upwards rather than from the top and come down? The theory, according to what we call the Giza power plant, or the energetic concept, is that several thousand years ago, these generators, these energy generators, there was a catastrophic event of some kind, and they literally went into, not overdrive, but they were over flooded with energy, and that caused this hyper vibration to the surface, and that may have been what caused the casing stones to literally peel off due to this hyper vibration to it, and that also turned the system off, and they haven't worked to this very day. But if you go inside these pyramids, you feel this residual energy that's still functioning. It's as though it's running at 1/10 of 1% of its original capacity, possibly.
Good.
A different cut.
Right.
Yeah.
Different section.
But they've chosen the whole corridor here
This was a
to be made. And it has the knobs too.
They seem to do that a lot, use this really dark stuff for...
You see the knobs here?
entranceways,
Yeah.
corridors.
Oh yeah, they're more
Yeah,
than...
that was always a big Tony.
And then here you see mud brick, which is a very primitive form of building on the outside of megalithic. So clearly the mud brick comes later and is more primitive than the prior workmanship, and this is counter to conventional archaeology. So this is just one of several examples that we encounter, especially here in Egypt as well as Peru and Bolivia, where you have more sophisticated technology existing prior to less sophisticated. Conventional scholarship tells us that we went from primitive people to sophisticated people, but in fact it's more likely that human civilization went in cycles, primitive to very high, to a collapse, to rising above and a collapse, and that's why sites in countries such as Egypt, here at the third pyramid, we're encountering very sophisticated work that pre-existed what is conventionally thought as dynastic work. The dynastic work, in fact, was better than the later Greek work, which was better than the Roman work, which came after that.
Hydrochloric acid, but then I only
But the
used
basin that was connected with the channel was running here, connecting with another basin that was located here, and another basin that was Yeah, the channel was running under. When we look at the granite, I want you to see this. Stephen, when we look at the original level of the floor that the water channels run under,
At the end, please.
as natural as it is, and then they will smooth the outside only. And that would mean that this layer, or this baked part from the basalt, is natural in it. And then I looked at the other slab over there, especially the one with the machining. How do I see this?
I think it works quite well together, but I can give you a scientific reason why, and then, I mean, it can be taken.
Why?
I mean, this obviously is not a burial site. I mean, with floors like this, it was a place where people came because, I mean, I'd come with a lawn chair.
Oh, yes.
Activation.
I'd
And
come
let me
with
tell you
a
about the official story about this site. They say Nisr Ra stuck his pyramid
Yeah.
was in between these two pyramids. Then they would say Nisr Ra built both. Hmm? So if he doesn't have to build his own and he took over his father's place or like causeway, because these two pyramids are connected to the same causeway. Until we find out the other one.
Same with supposed Stepharo's father Huni. He did my dome and the red pyramid and then or the bent pyramid and then Stepharu did the red pyramid. Oh, they say he did the both of them. But they say Huni did more than one pyramid too.
They related first the three pyramids to Senefru.
Right.
But then it didn't sound right like how
It's
many
430. It means
we don't have time for these ones this time, but I can take it. And here we can find the marking of the tube drill.
yes, yes,
The channel.
yes.
It's plugged right there.
Yeah. Maybe just on top.
You see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe just a ceiling on top.
And you see the circular tumor.
Yeah.
And here.
To make the
Recent revolution?
no, there's two revolutions, 2011, 2013.
Yeah, right.
After 2011, they damaged this.
What did they do?
This is all repair work. You see,
Yeah.
this is chunk is missing here, chunk here missing. This was all pristine at one point. They broke it off. They damaged it. And we think it was the Muslim Brotherhood.
I think it was just some villagers. Okay.
You see what the ISIS group is doing now to Nimrod, huh? No, they're destroying it. Brought a bulldozer in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They come here, they're gonna be destroyed.
they would. Yeah, well, your guy at least sent F-16s in to.
Always be black. Very dark.
Compass. You 6 set it directly north. Compass.
So guys,
So aligning it has something to do with the activation.
Yeah.
Also, all the structures are aligned. All the pyramids are aligned.
Yeah, that's right. I know what they were doing.